works. Yeah, I can't hear anything. Oh,
It's
maybe it's
being
my
recorded.
Yeah, maybe it's my speaker.
Tammy, sometimes if you, I hate to say it, you turn your computer off and reboot it, come back up again, it works. It's happened to me. I know, I'm sorry, but we could hear you fine.
Okay. So as long as y'all can hear me, well, go ahead and get started. I don't want to spend too much time on this. As long as you guys can hear me.
We could see you
I just
too. It's
unplugged.
like, it's fine. We could see you and
Perfect.
hear you. Yep.
Perfect.
So I guess if we have questions to put them in the chat.
I can hear you now, so it's fine because I've
Oh.
joined the call with my phone, so I can hear you guys through my phone.
Okay, good. Okay.
All right. All right. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Thank you for being patient with me. Technology is just that double-edged sword. So, but today we've got a good topic. So we are going to be talking about travel and how to be on the road and stay on your program. So, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right. So I got some shout outs and some welcomes. And then I'll talk about what to do before you go. We'll talk about what foods you can eat on the way. I got a lot of snack tips and food ideas for you. Other food hacks and food tips and tricks. We'll discuss a little bit about exercise on the road, and we'll finish up with some balance. And then now that I can hear you, we will definitely have some time for Q&A. It is a small group today, so if you guys want to unmute yourself and ask a question in the middle, you certainly can. So, all right. So where's my list? So we got Bobby, who's down 15 pounds, and that's in her first 3 weeks. So that's remarkable and wonderful. Carol is down 18 pounds. Krista's down 8 pounds in her first week. It's not typical, but it's possible. And it happened to Krista. And then Elizabeth exceeded her goal. She's actually 5 pounds under her goal, and she wants to put some weight back on it. So sometimes we get stuck, but guys, just hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Keep doing the deal. You will see some results. So here we go. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to move my thing here. All right. So what we can do before you go. So there's a little bit of homework. If you're actually going on a vacation or it's a resort or a really wonderful Italy or China or Thailand or some wonderful destination location, you know, we want to do some homework to see all the things that are out there to go and do and see and be, but we want to be intentional with that. So the first thing on my list here, before you go, you want to get your Audible set up on your phone or on whatever device you're bringing. Maybe you have an iPad or your phone, and you get some audio books that are inspirational for you. Anybody on this call, anybody listening to this replay, send me an email, not a text, not a text, not a text, but an email stating that you want the list of some of the books and speakers that I recommend. I have that list for you. So if you listen to podcasts, you want to listen to podcasts and all of that sort of stuff, that's a great way to stay motivated. You know, when we go on the vacation, we sometimes kind of take on it's a free-for-all sort of attitude, and the same goes with food. I know I've kind of taken on that attitude, and it's like, calories don't count, we're on vacation, we'll worry about all that stuff later. But to stay kind of in the zone, and you're listening to some of these motivational speakers, and some of them on my list will be nutrition and food and health and wellness, and some of them are just motivational, just to keep your head in the right place and keep your mindset in the right place. And that will help you once you get there, making better choices. And also when you get back home, we haven't gone so far off track on vacation that when we get back home, we're like in a sugar coma, and all of our inflammation has come back. So email me with your desire, and I'll attach that. I'll respond to that email with the attachment. If you text it to me, it's not in my phone, so I won't be able to attach it. So just email me with that list, and there's a lot of good stuff. And I'm sure there's plenty of books out there that are not on my list, but something motivational or inspirational or health and wellness wise to get you excited to want to stick with eating your right choices. Yeah. Also, before you go, you know where you're going to stay. You're going to stay, at the hotel. You're going to stay at the Airbnb. And even if it's in a different country, you can go to Google or whatever search engine you're using and search out restaurants. I would even suggest you see what you can do to search out restaurants that are walking distance. So that way you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. You walk to the restaurant, and then you walk back to the hotel from your restaurant after your lunch or after your dinner or whatever. But finding out that in advance, you can also go on the websites and see what their menu looks like. Sometimes the stressful part of it is, oh my gosh, I hope they have something I can eat. Oh my gosh, I hope they have, a grilled chicken or grilled salmon or, something without all that creamy, cheesy sauce. If you do this in advance, you can check their menu, and that way it's like stress-free. You can get more excited about the trip and about the sightseeing you're about to do than worrying about what you're going to have at that actual restaurant. So that's an easy peasy thing you can do. And you just wipe that off your worry list of what if. So get to know their menus. And if it doesn't have to be walking distance, of course, but start there, depending if it's not a safe part of town, obviously that would be a good idea. But if you can, that's the best way to see the city and see the buildings and, looking at stuff up close while you're walking to your restaurant. Also, before you go, you want to Google and find out what grocery store, possibly walking distance, is near your hotel or your Airbnb or your Aunt Susie's house. You want to be able to have some supplies. And if you're flying across the world and you're going to land in Japan or Thailand or, like I said, Italy, if you're able to bring some stuff to your hotel, it will help you have better choices available to you. Also, something you want to do before you go, what kind of activities are there? You might want to book some stuff in advance, but are there activities that involve walking tours? Are there activities that have like kayaking or horseback riding or bike riding? Do they rent bikes? Does the hotel rent a bike? Does the hotel have those, those pedal things it's got 4 wheels with pedals? I don't know what you call those, but those kinds of things. Have your activities, some of your activities be moving activities, but you can get all that in advance. If your hotel has a fitness center, you might want to know that and check out the map of your resort or your hotel and see where your hotel room is, in comparison to the fitness center, so that you have a clear idea of what you're up against or what you're looking at. It just gives you that more information, and you have a sense of knowing where this stuff is and what it is and what they have and what they don't have. Oh, fitness center, I just said that one. But yeah, just knowing where that is and what it is. And maybe a lot of these resorts, they actually have classes. They have yoga classes or dance classes or meditation classes or whatever. I went to a place when I was first getting ready to move to Arizona. They had water yoga. And I'd never heard of that, but I certainly took that class once I got there. Also, you might want to look in advance if there's a farmer's market. That's a really cool thing. That way you're going to get what's in the culturally, if you're in a different part of the world, there's different foods, there's different culture style foods, why not shop the locals? Why not get the organic stuff? It's something you can do while you're walking. You'll be able to see, you'll be able to talk to locals. It's a really great way to get the sense of the culture of the place that you're going to. Also in advance, you want to, I should put that one first, but you want to know, does your hotel room, does your Airbnb, does the place that you're staying, your resort, have a fridge, have a microwave? Does it have utensils? It might have a microwave, but it doesn't have plates and forks. So maybe you'd buy some paper plates and plastic forks when you go to that little grocery store. But knowing all those things, you know that you can pick up some stuff at the grocery store and have, some bags of salad or rotisserie chicken or, whatever that is, eggs or something. If you know you have the microwave, you can prepare for that. And that way it'll make making your choices. You have healthy stuff really super handy. Eating healthy, it's all about proximity. The easier it is to get to, the closer it is, the more already prepared it is. As you guys know, those of you who've been in the program for a while, the easier it is to reach for, just grab and go, the better. So if you know you have a fridge, a microwave, and some utensils, you know what you can pick up at that grocery store, so you know you can have stuff easy peasy. Oops. I didn't realize I had put the animations on, so I did it twice. All right, so FYI, these are not Cheetos. Every time I look at that, I'm like, why did I put Cheetos up there? It's not Cheetos. So some of the snacks, again, when you send me the email, not the text, but the email, tell me you want the full, complete list of snacks. I've typed it all up for you, and along with your food, tips and tricks for travel. I have it all typed up for you. So if you guys want that handout, ask for the handout in the email. But some of the things on the list are, protein powder. You can put it in baggies. Just have it all, each individual portions. So if your protein powder calls for 2 scoops for serving, put 2 scoops in each of your baggies and you're good to go. That way you don't have to measure anything or bring the scoop. Protein bars travel really well. Dr. Infantino likes these Epic bars. He also recommends the Dang bars and also the Kirkland bars, but there's a million ones out there. The main thing, we don't want added sugars and too much processed stuff. We don't typically on a regular day recommend having a protein bar every day, but they're great in a pinch. If you're a golfer and you're playing 18 holes, or you tend to go on long meetings with your work, protein bars are good. Cut up veggies, like these carrots, you can buy them pre-cut. You can buy them or just do it in advance. Turkey jerky with no sugar-free or no sugar added. That's a key word because almost every jerky, even plain, even peppered, they tend to have added sugars. So you want to get sugar-free turkey jerky. You want to bring your refillable water bottle. That way you're kind of paying attention to your hydration. We're so excited to be doing and seeing and exploring and just discovering all this cool stuff. We kind of forget to drink our water. So it's really important that we stay hydrated. If we're dehydrated, it can cause headaches, it can cause fatigue, it can cause high blood pressure. So you want to make sure that we're doing things that support staying hydrated. And also hard-boiled eggs are a good snack. Coconut chips, kale chips, Ticino. Maybe bringing your Ticino packet for like a nice afternoon coffee alternative. So those are some of the things on my list. If you'd like to get that list, send me the email. All right, number 3, we've got some food hacks. So I know you guys are not going to be traveling with your scale. And if you're still in your first 12 weeks, you still want to try to journal your food. When we go on vacation, if you surpassed your 12 weeks, when you go on vacation, the attitude should be, everything in moderation. So a little bit of cheat here and a little bit of cheat there, but it's not go hog wild crazy and try to gain 10 pounds. But obviously, if you're in your first 12 weeks, we do want you to stay the course because we're trying to heal the gut. So we don't want to give it any sugar or any dairy or any gluten because those are usually the culprits for the problems. But that all being said, if you're looking at your plates in these restaurants, this is a way to kind of manage that. So if you have if on your plate it looks like about this much, a fist, you know it's about a cup of vegetables if it's vegetables. The palm is about 3 ounces of protein. So if it's a little bigger than your palm, that's probably a better choice for you. At least the size of your palm. So if it's smaller than your palm, you're not probably getting enough protein. I know we're not doing cheese, but this was just on the list, so I thought I'd include it. The size of your finger is about 1 ounce of cheese. If we have 2 cupped palms, that's about 2/3 of a cup. If you're measuring rice, that's too much. If it's vegetables, that's wonderful. But if it's this much, it's too much on carbs. Perfect if it's a vegetable. The tip of your finger is about a teaspoon of oil. And then your thumb would be about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of fat. So these are just little guidelines. The best one that I like is look at your size of your palm to make sure you're getting enough protein. All right, some more tips. Bring a shaker bottle.
Tammy, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, on the oil, is there a bigger possible measurement for eyeballing oil than the teaspoon? Do you know of?
No, and typically I'm thinking of restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of restaurants like sometimes things are cooked in oil, so you know the oil kind of oozes onto the plate, so you're not even getting that oil in your belly.
Got you.
But I don't know if you see something that much, you know it's about a tablespoon. And if you're kind of lapping it up and you are consuming it, then at least you kind of get an idea of how much. I don't know. The only other thing is most restaurants, every restaurant has a standard. So when you're ordering a chicken dish, their standard is it comes with 4 ounces of chicken or 6 ounces of chicken or whatever their standard is, because the chef has to know how much to measure. That's how they track their profit and loss.
Right.
So
Right.
if you ask the questions, how much is in there, they should often know.
Okay. Awesome.
The shaker bottle. So in a good protein shaker bottle, it has like this thing in here. So when you put your water in your shaker bottle and then your protein powder, when you go to shake it up, that little ball will break it up so it won't be so clumpy. You're not going to bring a blender, but this will fit in your suitcase. Stuff your socks in it so it doesn't take up any extra room. But that way you have a way to make a breakfast or a snack while you're in your room at your Airbnb or your hotel. So shaker bottle will come in very handy. You could put all your protein baggies in there and keep that in your carry-on bag as well. So that way you have something in the airport. You cannot rely on the airport for foods. You cannot. You have to bring your snacks. Even if you know you go to that airport all the time and you know there's a restaurant there, half the time they're closed. So you can't always bank on those. Oh, I had it already. So Four Sigmatic or Ticino does make these. It's like a coffee substitute. They're mushroom coffees, but these make for a nice snack, nice afternoon, just treat. I like these a lot, and they come in so many. This one's caramel nut. I also have a maple pecan, but they come in all kinds of chocolate mints. They have a lot of nice flavors. So you guys are doing coffee, but this, you go back to the hotel room, you're getting ready for dinner. You want a little something. You make it, if your hotel room has a coffee maker, just make the hot water and bring these. You can also bring this through an airport and just get a cup of hot water at the Starbucks. And that makes for a nice little snack or treat, I think. But that's something that you can do. It doesn't weigh anything. and they're easy, and you can get them through an airport. I also like to bring my stevia packets for this or for my herbal tea. Usually if you go to restaurants, they usually just have Equal or Splenda, and obviously, or sugar. And we don't want any of those things. It's certainly if you're in the first 12 weeks, you don't know, those will screw up your gut, all three of them. The sugar will screw up your gut, the aspartame in the Equal will screw up your gut, and the sucralose in the Splenda will screw up your gut. So we want to have a backup. If we have it with us, if it's in our purse, in our bag, or at least in our hotel room, we'll have it. So they don't take up much room either, and they don't really weigh anything either. Another trick I like is split a meal. You know, if it's lunchtime, maybe you want to split a meal with your friend. And if the last time I did that, I was kind of bummed. My friend wanted to split a meal. I'm like, I want my own. I want my own. And I wasn't thrilled. But I'll tell you what, we split the meal. At the end of the meal, I was completely satisfied. And then I get the check and it's half the cost. And I was really happy about that. But guess what? I got half the calories and it cost me half as much. So that's kind of a trick that will really help, you know, back up, because we tend to just, like I said, go a little bit hog wild. If we can at lunchtime or maybe breakfast time, split a meal, it'll really knock down those calories, because restaurants, they cook with a lot of butters and a lot of the wrong oils. So if we're eating a little bit of restaurant food, less restaurant food, you know, the better it will be for us. Another trick is one meal at the hotel. Make yourself kind of a rule or, you know, agreement with yourself. One of the meals can be eaten at breakfast or eaten at the hotel. You're saving yourself from restaurant food, which, like I said, you don't know what kind of oils or ingredients that they're putting in the foods. It'll save you money. And it's just a better, you know exactly what you're getting. So if you have, where did I put it? If you have your shaker bottle with your protein powders in it, that could be your morning breakfast. And that way you save yourself some money and you save yourself a lot of calories and you feel good about your choice. You know that you made a right choice. You know, you stayed within your own guidelines. And hey, not everybody likes them, but most people love these things. So it's just a nice, fun way to get a chocolatey or nice vanilla treat. Oh, and this is a good one. Don't eat the ordinary stuff. So what I mean by that is, again, back to that concept of, okay, I'm on vacation. It's kind of a free-for-all. So, and this reminds me of my son when I took my kids on a cruise when they were sort of teens or preteen. My son all day long was at the ice cream machine. In cruises, it's all you can eat. That kid ate ice cream literally all day long. And so my instinct would be to get an ice cream cone, you know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Why not? I'm on vacation. But I can get ice cream anywhere. You guys, no matter where you live in this country, there's an ice cream cone just right around the corner. It's not going to be very far. So don't eat an ice cream cone. Like I said, if you're past your 12 weeks, we want to be a little bit of a cheat, but be picky and choosy. So if you're in Italy, have something that's very culturally Italian, or if you're in Thailand, very culturally, something that you can't get at home. And that way it kind of helps you put limits on things. If you're saving your cheap for that super cool thing that you could never get back home here in Arizona or there in New York or wherever you are. But don't eat the ordinary stuff. You know, you're there to experience the culture. If you're going to go off and if you're going to have a cheat, make it part of, make it something that's culturally exclusive to that area. Somebody in the chat says, when you go out to a restaurant, I always plan ahead before heading out and fill up a small portable container, which fits in my purse with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Yeah, so if you guys are traveling by car, you can certainly bring your own salad dressings to restaurants. That's a great idea. If you are in a restaurant though, and you didn't bring your own, you can do an oil and vinegar Ask them for olive oil, but most vinegars and olive oil is a good choice. So that's a good way to go. So very good. All right. So tip number 4, moving your body. First one. So keep in mind, we're not going there to try to get in shape. So you don't need to be in the gym for the hour. You don't need to do all that, but any opportunity you can to move your body, you might as well do it. So but keep that in mind. Oh, there's another chat. Also, she has a portable plug-in cooler that can plug into her car and prepare meals ahead of time and fill up the cooler. That's a great idea. Great idea for a road trip, because on road trips the easiest thing to do is drive through fast food, and there's just those are difficult. I mean, every time I do one of those drive-throughs, I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I know how to make this work. And then I get through it and I look at the menu and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done to myself? I can't eat this. It's just terrible. Because I can see it's 900 calories for a sandwich. What'd you guys do to the sandwich? But yeah, if you can bring a cooler, and these portable coolers can also go, you can keep stuff warm or you can keep stuff cold. So it can go either way, and they plug in a lot of them
Yeah.
cigarette lighter. So those
Right.
are great if you spend a lot of time in your car, or you have a job that has you, your territory is really big. That's a great way to bring your lunch and keep yourself on track. Great tip for that. So YouTube videos. You have your phone with you. You have maybe your iPad or your tablet, your device. There are so many exercise things that you can do with no equipment. And YouTube is free. And you could just do a 10-minute little workout right there in your hotel room or your Airbnb, or right there on the beach. That's where I do it. If I'm on a beach anywhere, that's my favorite thing to do, is go do some workouts right there on the beach, because now it just feels extra special. It feels somehow more fun. Whereas my view is that ocean and I'm on that beautiful sand. But YouTube videos, again, you can do just even a 10, 15, 20, whatever time you want to give it. But there's a whole boatload of stuff. You can bring resistance bands. They don't weigh much. They don't take up much room in your suitcase. So that's an option. I mean, I personally don't do that because I'm just going to go work out on the beach and do some yoga, but that's my style. Walking outside and exploring. What better way to see the city that you're in? We got this beautiful hotel room. We see this beautiful resort. Walk the resort. Walk the perimeter of the resort. Walk around the pool areas. Walk around the restaurants. Discover the restaurants. That's where you can start looking at the menus. If you haven't, obviously you've probably done that already. You did your homework. But walking outside, walking through the city, it's a great way to really take in the culture. You can take in the locals. You can talk to people. But if you're moving your body, you're getting your steps in, you can explore, you can stop really easy. There's no need for parking anything. So you really can see the city a little bit better and get your steps in. Skip the bus tour if you can find some walking tours. That would be ideal, or a bicycle tour. Renting a bike, a kayak, ATV, paddle boats. A lot of these hotels, or especially resorts, have it. A lot of resorts have snorkel gear that you can rent, canoes and paddle boats, that kind of stuff. If you have a hotel or an Airbnb with a pool, don't just lay by it and read your book. I know you got lots of good books on your Audible and your or your Kindle. That's great, but get in the water, splash around, kick around. Hopefully you're with some kids or some family members, and play some volleyball in the pool. A lot of these big resorts have volleyball games or different kind of events or activities that you can do out by the pool that have your bodies moving. There's plenty of lawn chairs out there, but get your body in the water and use the actual pool. Another thing you can do when you call ahead to your hotel, when you're finding out about the fitness center, ask them, is the pool heated? And that way you can get a good idea whether you'll, because depending on the time of year, of course, whether you'll even be able to go in it. Does it have a hot tub? Use that too. That's always good. If you're somewhere where there's snow, you go out there and have a snowball fight, build a snowman, make some snow angels. It's hard to walk in the snow. You're working the body pretty darn good. So I would say get out there, especially if you got kids with you. But you know what? As adults, we need to be a little bit more, not childish, but childlike. There's nothing wrong with building a snowman with your adult partner or friends as well. So it gives you, you're lifting things, you're moving your body, and it's a lot of fun. And you can take pictures of it and make some really good social media posts. So have some fun, have some fun, have some fun. This is why we want to get in shape, so that we can do all these things. If you're not healthy, we can't get out and build a snowman. Certainly can't be riding these ATVs or kayaking or doing a lot of swimming. We're in this program so that we can go out and have all this kinds of fun. All right, and then last, let me move this thing over. Move that. All right. So road trip number 5. This one is balance. So tip number 1 is don't drink your calories. If you bring your stevia packets, like I mentioned, and you go to a restaurant for lunch, order a club soda, have them put a couple of lemons in there. You have your stevia packet, you can make your own lemonade. So really, it makes it very pleasant, very nice. It still feels delicious. It's not just boring water. But be careful with your calories. Those umbrella drinks, if it has lots of pretty colors in it, like blue and red and yellows and oranges, like sunset colors, those are all very, very, very sugary drinks. Obviously, we're not drinking in the first 12 weeks, but if you're on a vacation after the 12 weeks, if you're going to have a cocktail, you want to make it like a vodka soda or a tequila soda, put some lime in there, put some other fruit in there, put strawberries in it, put an orange in it. But be mindful of those calories that you're drinking. Like pina colada could be 400 calories you haven't even eaten yet. So be very mindful of those. Also, number 2, maintain your morning ritual. So if you have a morning prayer practice or breathwork practice, don't stop that on a vacation. You have time now. You're on vacation. It's the work week that gets us kind of in that hustle and bustle of, oh, I don't have time for prayer or meditation or breath work, but you are on vacation. You wake up, have your cup of hot tea or your teachino, and then practice your meditation or your breath work. This is when you have the time to do it. Number 3, this tip I learned from my mom, and my mom was just here this weekend. And boy, when I was in here doing a little bit of work over the weekend, she's in there writing in her journal. She has a journal specific for travel. And the reason why this is a really cool tip is if you write down, like she wrote down every restaurant we went to, the show we went to, the food we ate when we got there, the experience we had, we went to, you know, all these different things we went to see or do. When you do that, and then you write down everything you did and all the fun or what it made you feel like, recap everything in your journal. I'll tell you what, in a month from now, you go back and read that journal, you get to relive your vacation. Because for me, my memory is terrible. It is really bad. I've forgotten half the stuff. After only just 4 weeks ago, I went on this beautiful trip and I forgot. But if I go back and read my journal, oh my God, I forgot that restaurant was so good. Oh, that comedy show was so good. Remember when you made the joke about the whatever? You get to sort of relive that. So take some time to recap your day in a journal. Write down the restaurants, write down the shows, write down the activities or excursions or what the funny thing you did. One time I went on a trip with my mom and we were in one of those lazy rivers and she did have a drink in her hand, but we were on like a raft or I don't know, inner tube, and she flipped and she lost she saved her drink, but she flipped up into the phone. And,
Gotta
you know,
save that drink.
yeah, well, you know, it's instant. Save the drink. Well, this was an all-inclusive hotel. This was like 8 years ago. So the drinks were included, didn't matter anyway. But we laughed at that for so long, but you can bet that went in her travel journal. And she gets to relive that every time she reads that.
Oh.
So that's just a kind of a cool tip, whatever. Number 4, staying hydrated. Again, we forget we're having so much fun and we're in the sun and we're by the water and we're near the water and we're by the ocean and we're by the pool. We forget to actually drink our water. So bring your hydro flask, make sure so that you can remember, oh, I filled it up and I haven't had a sip of it yet today. So make sure you're paying attention. And especially if you're drinking a alcoholic drink, for every alcoholic drink, make sure you at least minimum drink a 16-ounce bottle of water to rehydrate your body. The other one is wash your hands frequently. You know, last time, let's see, where was I going? I was in the airport and I got the worst flu because everybody's touching everything. Everybody's touching everything. You go to airports, there's millions of people in just within minutes passing by all these handrails and doorknobs and bathroom doors and all the things. So wash your hands even more than you normally would, because it's out there. You don't want to get sick on your vacation. Also prioritizing sleep. I know a lot of shows happen at night, so there's a lot of nightlife out there, but do your best to try to continue to get your sleep. One of the biggest culprits for reducing or compromising your immune system is not getting enough sleep. Number 1 is nutrition. Number 2 is sleep, and also stress. Those 3 things will compromise your immune system if they're not right. So just do yourself a favor and try to get some sleep. We're on vacation, we need a rest anyway, right? And then the last one I wanted to add that in is probiotics, especially if you're going to a country where they say don't drink the water. There's probiotics can help you keep from getting those diarrheas and those Montezuma's revenge that we can get when we go on vacation. So make sure you bring some probiotics with you. My sister bought us both, each a box of probiotics. And this is when I went to Mexico with my mom on that lazy river trip. And my mom didn't take her probiotics. She just didn't take them. My sister bought each of us one. And the day we were to get on the airplane to go home, and we each had our own room. It was the coolest thing. We each had our own room. So I go to knock at her door and she answers the door and she's white as a ghost. And she's like, oh my God, I got diarrhea really bad. She goes, I don't know how I'm going to get on the plane. I can't get on the plane. And I said, did you take your antibiotics? She said, no. I'm like, just do yourself a favor. Bring your antibiotics. Even if you're not currently normally taking them, bring them with you on vacation. Someone on chat says, would you say Dr. Infantino's probiotic is enough, or would you recommend a different brand? What's good about his couple things is, number 1, it is shelf stable. A lot of the really good ones out there do require refrigeration. The number 2 reason why his is better than a lot of them on the market is they're coated in a beeswax, which means it can withstand the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. In other words, the stomach acids won't kill the bacteria. You do want to take your probiotics on an empty stomach so they can get into that intestine fast rather than have to fight through all that food. So take it on an empty stomach. But yes, you can take that. You might even take a little bit more than it's being requested if you're on a vacation, especially like a Mexico trip where it's, you know, they say don't drink the water. You know, if the ice is made with water. So just be careful. Sometimes it slips in. All your dishes are washed in their water. All the glasses are washed in their water. So those bacteria and germs can work their way in. So that's why probiotic is a good idea. Oh boy. Okay. So, oops, that's the wrong email. That is the wrong email. So, you know, I'm coach at drinfantino.com. This is just wrong. Oops. Oops. I took that slide out. I changed it. Someone's asking, got to go, catch the rest of the recording. Oh, bye, Jen. Thank you for joining. All right, so does anybody have any other questions or thoughts or comments? Somebody's typing.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Kathleen says, what is the dose that you would recommend for the probiotics? You want to take at least 2 twice a day, at least. It
Yeah,
depends,
which
I
is
mean,
what we take now.
yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that's more than what the bottle says.
Oh, okay. I never looked at the bottle.
That's okay
Okay.
because our instructions are different anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of shelf stable ones out there. Um,
I'm gonna stick with Dr. Infantino's products because I have not had a problem with his supplements at all. They work well. I digest them well. I have a sensitive stomach, so I'd rather stay with what works for me, you
yeah,
know.
good, good.
But thank you, Tammy.
Oh,
This
you're
was
welcome.
helpful.
You are welcome. Anybody else?
Hi, Tammy. This is Lynn.
Hi.
I've been on my phone, but thank you for all these tips because I travel so much. And
Sagittarius much?
yeah, and so just those little things, just hearing them or being reminded of, what I can do to be proactive or being around family and a bunch of people, I'm just doing a lot of traveling. So this has been great. I'm glad I got on.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you being here and the comments, of course.
Thank you so much, Tammy. I'm gonna
All right,
run.
thank you,
Okay.
Kathleen. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Does anybody else have anything before I say goodbye? Jennifer, you unmuted. Did you have something?
No, I was just gonna say bye.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, bye, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you all very soon. Have a good day.
Thanks, Tammy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.